reefs, the rainforests of the sea. Although they only cover 1% of the Earth's surface, reefs are home to more than 25% of all marine fish species. However, these delicate ecosystems are now under severe threat. First appearing in the fossil record more than 400 million years ago, corals are extremely ancient animals that evolved into modern reef-building forms over the last 25 million years. Coral reefs can now be found in tropical regions across the globe. Reefs are home to thousands of animals, and contrary to popular belief, corals themselves are animals as well. Corals rely on a symbiotic relationship with a unicellular algae called zooxanthellae. Without this, coral reefs could not exist. 25% of all marine life in the world call coral reefs their home. From whales to tiny fish, the variety here is endless. In fact, coral reefs are the largest structures made by any animal, including humans. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia stretches over 3,000 miles and can even be seen from space. But these ecosystems are delicate, and if change is not made, we could lose them forever. These are the effects of coral reef bleaching. When bleaching occurs, all that is left is an eerie white skeleton. I talked to coral reef specialist Aaron Sams to learn more. Could you explain why does coral reef bleaching occur?
So bleaching of corals it's a simple but tricky issue at the same time. We don't necessarily know 100% why corals bleach. It could be a number of different things that cause a coral to bleach. Higher sea surface temperatures, so warmer water where the corals are living, might alter the living conditions for the algae, the zooxanthellae algae that live within the coral, to such a degree that they can't survive in that habitat, and so they might expel themselves from the actual polyps. But it may be that the polyps are unhappy in the altered habitat or altered environmental conditions with warmer water, and they may be the reason that the algae are expelled. Regardless of what causes coral bleaching, if it lasts for too long, the coral can die.
When coral bleaches, it greatly affects the reef life. So could you describe how once a reef becomes bleached, how does that affect the life that lives on the reef?
That's a good question. So if you think about corals bleached, not all of them might bleach under the same conditions. So if you're looking at a reef and you see some patches of white bleached coral, those polyps aren't going to be as good of a food source for the fish or for anything else that's surviving on the polyps themselves or on the algae inside the corals, or the algae growing on the corals. So that the lack of that food source could be huge for the fishes on a reef or for other organisms that rely on that food. So the food web could be altered, and then the lack of those species could affect other organisms in the open ocean. Could just sort of snowball into a much bigger issue.
You may ask, how do we affect coral reefs when the nearest tropical ocean is thousands of miles away? The answer is simple. Everything you do here in Silver Spring affects our oceans. Whether it be turning off your lights, or walking to work, or even helping clean up our own Sligo Creek, you can help rescue coral reefs, and together we can save these natural wonders for the next generation.